are back at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina, where the field is rolling out for the start of today's 400-lap race on this .625-mile racetrack. And just as the field comes all around turn number 4, the sunshine peeks through, helping warm things here. Bill Elliott leads him down. Benny Parsons on the outside. The green flag flies, and the first Union 400 Winston Cup race from North Wilkesboro is underway. Everybody nicely through turns number 1 and 2 as Bill Elliott has the lead, and Dale Earnhardt has jumped into second position, followed by Benny Parsons and Bobby Allison. So here we go. It's just about to go away. They bump coming out of turn 4. Earnhardt gets the lead. We had just heard from our spotters that Neil Bond. Dale Earnhardt is on his last lap. This will be his 24th career win. Dale Earnhardt wins the first Union 400 at North Wilkesboro.
Welcome to North Wilkesboro, folks, for the penultimate round of the modifieds on Thursday night in the short track Super League. As you could tell from the introduction that we had there, North Wilkesboro is a classic NASCAR track that used to be raced on in the 80s, and thanks to modern techniques, iRacing has been able to bring this track back to life, and that's why we are here tonight. It's not a track that's in use currently in the real world, but the iRacing drivers get an opportunity to drive around on this track to experience the yesteryear, the days gone by, I would say. One notable fact about this track is that it's not level. You go a little bit uphill on the main straight and you go a little bit downhill on the backstretch. It's very difficult to see, obviously, but the story goes that the developers back then just ran out of time and money and decided to just leave it the way it was, and that makes for a very unique track here in the NASCAR world. So we're here tonight with the Short Track Super League Modifieds. It's their penultimate round. Next week we're going to wrap things up in at the Lanier Speedway. Let's give you a quick look here at the point standings in this series. Kyle Eli is leading by 218 points. Jake Brooks is second with 124. We've seen Kyle Eli pretty much be dominant throughout the season here, and it's pretty much a race for second place. Brooks with 124, Stefan 119. You can go down the order and find your favorite driver. As a matter of fact, I have not seen Kyle Eli here tonight during practice, so he may not be able to race tonight, but I would say pretty much that championship in this series is pretty much wrapped up here. And like I said, it's going to be a fight for second place with Jake Brooks currently being second in the standings here in practice. So he's doing a good job. Brandon Hughes is being fastest in practice so far. He is currently in 8th position with 82 points. So there's still plenty to fight for in this series. And North Wilkesboro is going to be a track where we can see some of that great racing that we've seen in this series before. I'm fairly sure that the yellow laps will not be counted, like they normally don't do that in this series. It's been a bit confusing because the information on iRacing tells me that they will be counted, but normally we do not count them. So I'm guessing that's the same thing here tonight. So in a few seconds, as you can see, practice has been given the checkered flag. We're going to go into qualifying. And as you know, qualifying is individual. The guys will not be able to see each other out on the track, but we can follow pretty much anybody we can find live on the track. So let's go and take a ride here with Jake Brooks, the guy second in the standings, looking to score well tonight and wrap up that second place in the series. He obviously can use a good finish like everybody else. We have some new names here tonight. And let's see where Jake Brooks is going to end up qualifying. 2 laps, individual qualifying, 5 minutes in total is the time allotted for that. And as we see, Jake Brooks is currently the quickest with a 16.803. And there you can see the other guys putting some times in. Looks like TJ Bushy is actually, he's in 7th position already. Didn't show a time there real quick. Ooh, it looks like Trevor Edwards is picking up that quickest time. There you have Edwards in the pit lane. Not sure why that would be. And then it's Ken Zeems, a new name here in the number 40. We've seen him post a quickest lap, also coming back in. And they have 2 laps, so it's a little bit confusing why they would stop right away. There we have Sean Hayes, currently in 8th position. Sean Langton still out on the track. His first lap put him in 10th. Scotty Zerk is out on the track, has not posted a time just yet. TJ Bushy has posted a time, and let me see, who else have we got here? We have Robert Smith out on track currently. Paint job, a little slow loading. Matthew Telder is coming out in the O2 car, hasn't posted a lap time just yet. And as said, I do not see Kyle Eli here tonight. So that will give the other guys a little bit of a chance to catch up in the point standings, obviously. But Kyle is pretty far ahead, and he will probably be able to wrap this thing up on the final race at Lanier Speedway. Brandon Hughes now coming out on track, and he's changing his mind, obviously. He has not posted a time yet. Matthew Telder has posted a time. He's currently in 16th. Brandon Hughes coming back out. Let's keep an eye on Brandon Hughes. I expect him to move his way up in the standings here. And this looks like it's going to be his out lap. And here we have Brandon posting his first lap time. He jumps to 9th position. And that looks like he had the use of 3 laps. I might be mistaken on the amount of laps that they have. What I can tell you is that the guys have 3 tire sets at their disposal for the race. Meaning that if they use up more than that, they're going to have to make do with what they have. This is Daniel Hinder. I haven't seen him before in this series. And the pole sitter, Ken Zeems, is also a new name here tonight. We have a total of 30 cars entering this race, so it's going to be a busy night here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. A lot of cars. It's a half-mile oval. And as we are finishing up qualifying, let's bring up that race information here. It's a half-mile trek. The current temperature is 65 degrees. The humidity is 45%. There is no wind to speak of. It's a cloudy sky, and we have a trek temperature of 81 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not extremely high. It might make for a little bit slipping and sliding here and there, but it's not going to be too bad, I don't believe. The track temperature is not that terribly high. Here we have Coy Hasselou. He is the 87 car, and he has not yet posted a time. He's going to have to hurry because qualifying will cut off at 5 minutes exactly, and it looks like he did not get his time in. All right, so let's bring up the grid for you. This is tonight's race with newcomer Ken Zeems in the number 40 car on the pole position. Then alongside him, it'll be Trevor Edwards. On the second row, it will be Mike Mahoney and Jason Ricker. Also, Ricker, a new name in the series here, I believe. On the third row, it'll be Jake Brooks and Pete Polini. On the fourth row, Samuel Fontaine and Michael Steffen, both front runners in this series. Fifth row for Brandon Hughes and Sean Hayes. The sixth row for Curran Beckler and Daniel Hinder. Then on the seventh row, we have Sean Langton and Luke Daniels. On the eighth row, Matthew Telder and Scotty Zirk. Then on the ninth row, TJ Bushy and Kevin Davis. Coy Hasselou and Wyatt Sepp on the 10th row, Michael DeLong and Richard Benedetto on the 11th row, and the 12th row is for Mike Durfee and Jason Coe. Then we have the 13th row, Nick Rieberg, I would say, Ronald Redmond. I hope I pronounced Nick's name correctly there. On the 14th row, it's Robert Smith and Jacob Shockley. On the 15th row, it is Michael Benedetto, and Douglas Walcott had not been able to set a time. There you have your grid, folks. Let's double check a few things before we get going here. And we'll be doing 2 pace laps behind the pace car, and looks like we have everybody on the grid except for Coy Hasselou and Douglas Walcott. I do not see those guys on track yet. We are rolling, however. Let me see. It's the 40 of Ken Zeems that is the pole sitter. And alongside him on the outside, beautiful colored car there for Trevor Edwards. I do believe that's a new paint scheme he's got on there. And we'll be keeping an eye on guys like Jake Brooks in the 57 car, high in the point standings. Samuel Fontaine, also one of the favorites in this series. And let's see, Brandon Hughes, always one of the faster guys there in the 111 car. Curran Beckler recently joined the series, and he's been doing pretty good as well. And let's see, we have Michael Steffen here out there somewhere. Can't find him quick enough. There he is in the 669 car, right alongside Brandon Hughes. 75 laps here tonight. And as said, normally in this series the yellows are not counted, and you will see that scoring will be scrolling a little bit weird, but don't be alarmed by any of that. We'll keep an eye on it for you. There we have Ken Zeems taking the lead here at the start, and we didn't even make it one lap and we got trouble on the back end, or in the middle of the field here. Ooh, looks like Robert Smith in the 08 there. Several drivers involved, and then they try to get going and don't wait for it to clear up. Let's take another look at this. Ooh, one of the guys upside down. That is Luke Daniels. And let's bring it back a little bit further there. You see Luke Daniels in the 98 car. Ooh, and the problem starts with the harmonica effect of some guys getting on the gas too early And then the further back in the field, everybody gets confused, has to hit the brakes, and they all run into a nose-to-tail situation there. So not a good start for tonight's race. And there you see our scoring. Let me see. Well, maybe they are counting the yellow laps here tonight, because we're already showing lap number 3. Your leader is the number 40 car of Ken Zeems. Trevor Edwards in second. Mike Mahoney in the 38. That looks like the 13 is getting a wave around. And, yep, he is. And let's see, we have Jason Ricker in the number 9 car. There you have him, the black, white, and yellow car. Then it's Jake Brooks in 5th position in the 57. Pete Pellini is in 6th. Samuel Fontaine is in 7th. Looks like Jason Ricker is going into the pits. We have Wyatt Sapp in the pits. Michael Benedetto is in the pits. And we have several other guys. Matthew Telder, Michael DeLong, Richard Benedetto, Jason Coe is in the pits. Luke Daniels probably had to take a tow. And hopefully they can get their machines fixed up good enough to get started on this race. It looks like tonight we are counting the yellow laps, so I apologize for the misinformation, but it's really pretty difficult for me to tell from the iRacing information. It always says yes on counting the yellow laps, and then a lot of times it doesn't. So far in this series we haven't, and this is the first time that we are counting the yellow laps. That's fine, it doesn't make that much difference either way. We have plenty of race time in these 75 laps, hopefully, and obviously the drivers will have to... Oh, we're not going green. Not sure what the reason for that would be. Jason Ricker still in the pits. It looks like he'll be going down a lap. There you have the field coming by. Let's go take a look further down here. We have Sean Hayes, one of the regulars, Curran Beckler. That car always reminds me of a moving roadwork truck. Daniel Hinder, I believe he's new to the series here tonight. Scotty Zirk, we've seen him before. TJ Bushy, Kevin Davis, Mike Durfee, Ronald Redmond Jr. I'm not sure if I've seen him before. And it sounds like we're going to be going green here.
Green.
There we go. We're racing once again. Single file restart. Ken Zeems is on the throttle. It's Trevor Edwards coming to his outside there, but not close enough to make anything meaningful happen. It's Mike Mahoney in the 3rd place, and Jake Brooks already worked his way to 4th, meaning that he probably passed Pete Pellini there. Ooh, and their scoring goes a little bit berserk. And it does look like we did not count those yellow laps, because now we're back in lap 6, scoring a little bit confused here. Ken Zeems is still the leader, though, and Trevor Edwards is in 2nd. Jason Ricker is shown up top there, but he is out of the race. He'll be dropping down the order there. Mike Mahoney in 3rd position there in the number 38 car. Then it's Jake Brooks in 4th. And it looks like everybody is finding their groove now. It looks like everybody is running in single file, is getting them started a little bit better. Samuel Fontaine has picked up 6th position. Brandon Hughes is right on his tail in the 111 car. And then Michael Steffen is right behind them in the 669. Sean Hayes in the 16 right behind there. Let's go back to Brandon Hughes. It looks like he's getting ready to make a move on Fontaine. Mike Mahoney closing in there oh my, he's got Jake Brooks to worry about. That's what I should be saying. Looking at. Jake Brooks is trying very hard to take away that third spot from Mike Mahoney. Not quite there yet, but he's getting alongside. There he comes to the inside, and it looks like Jake Brooks is picking up third position. The 38 has good momentum coming off the higher side of the turn, and he's not giving up. They're still side by side, and it looks like Pete Bellini is going to join in this battle here as well. Now it looks like Jake has got that car in front of the 38. Looks like two grooves are working well here at North Wilkesboro tonight. The higher and the middle, the lower and the middle groove are working fine. The 57 and the 38 still side by side, trying to figure out who gets to be the third position driver. It looks like Jake Brooks is deciding that for himself right now. And then Mike Mahoney in fourth, Pete Bellini in fifth, and Brandon Hughes is clinching to the back end of this group of drivers here in sixth position. Samuel Fontaine is a little bit further back. Ken Zeems is still out in front. He's got Trevor Edwards behind him by about 4/10 of a second. Jake Brooks is a little bit further back. And obviously that's because they were battling for position there previously. If you don't battle for position, you are usually faster than when you're messing around with others. So that's the reason you see a little bit of a gap between Edwards and Brooks there, second and third position. And we have a caution. I believe that was Michael DeLong. No, it's actually Curran Beckler. And he's turned it around. Does a good job waiting for a clear track before he moves it back onto the track. Let's go see what happened to him. Curran Beckler gets a little tap in the back from, I believe that was the 171 car. That's Daniel Hinder. And once again, he does a good job waiting for the track to clear. And meanwhile, we see somebody else there having... Oops. That looked like Sean Hayes got turned around there. Let's see what happened to Sean. Oh, he just not paying attention and he hits the wall as he is not deciding whether to either pit or stay on the track. He decides to try out how hard that concrete barrier is there, and luckily he can get it back going again. He does take it to the pit lane, as does Daniel Hinder, and Sean Langton is in the pits. Let me see if we can find some more. Michael Benedetto, Richard Benedetto in the pit, Matthew Telder, Luke Daniels. It's a busy night on pit road. And once again, I apologize for the confusion about the yellow laps not being counted. It looked for a moment that scoring was counting them, but the yellow laps obviously are not being counted here tonight. We will be doing 75 laps of green flag racing. And it looks like Ken Zeems is still in the lead in front of Trevor Edwards. And then in third, it's Jake Brooks. And then it's Mike Mahoney, Pete Bellini, Brandon Hughes, and Samuel Fontaine have swapped positions there. And Michael Steffen still in 9th, Scotty Zerk in 10th. Looks like the 13 is leaving a closed pit. He has to wait for the field to go by before he can get back out. That is Mike Durfee. And it looks like Sean Hayes and Daniel Hinder have left the race, as did Wyatt Sapp. And I do believe Douglas Walcott has left the race as well. Yep, he has also left the race. All right, they're lining them back up to double file this time for the restart. It's Zeems and Edwards still in front. Pace car going in, and it is Ken Zeems that hits the gas. Side by side with Trevor Edwards into turn one. The second and third row still side by side behind him. And it looks like Ken Zeems is hanging on to that inside line pretty good there. And it looks like Trevor Edwards is as strong as he is. They're still side by side for the lead. Trevor Edwards now nosing that car ahead of Zeems' number 40 car. There he picks up the lead. The 57 of Jake Brooks has worked his way to the third position, passing Mike Mahoney. Brandon Hughes is now in fifth, in front of Pete Polini and Samuel Fontaine. Michael Steffen picked up eighth position from Kevin Davis. Trevor Edwards now leading the race here. Ken Zeems in second. And that's what it looks like from Trevor's car. There you're looking at Ken Zeems, new driver here in the series, second position. Right behind him you see Jake Brooks. Well, actually you don't see him right now because he's kind of behind the silhouette of Zeems. But there you see him popping up into turns. And Edwards doing a good job building up a little bit of a lead here. 0.3 of a second in front of Ken Zeems. And it looks like Jake Brooks is meaning business right there behind Zeems. He's hanging on very closely behind the number 40 car. It looks like Jake Brooks is hungry for a win here this season. He's been doing really well, but he hasn't been able to master what Eli has done. So with Eli not being here, this could be his night. Closing in on the 40 there. Mike Mahoney in the blue car following. And Brandon Hughes behind the blue car of Mike Mahoney there in the green and black car. Pete Polini still behind him. And then Samuel Fontaine and Michael Steffen. Let's go check back on here on Jake Brooks. Jake is every once in a while getting really far down, and in the turn 3 and 4, as you can see there maybe, there's a little bit of a curb there that you really don't want to touch. That curb can upset the car, and you see here in turn 1, there is no curb. In turn 2, there is just a white line, and here in 3 and 4, there is in fact a curb. Let's ride along here with Jake Brooks in the third spot. No curb here in 1 and 2. And look to your left side of the track here. There you see that there's a fairly high curb here, much like a sidewalk curb in the city. So you don't want to get in there onto there. That'll upset your car. As you see, we're passing some back markers already. That looked to me like let me see, that could be the 07 of Langton, I believe. And it looks like Jake Brooks is closing in on Zeems there. And Trevor Edwards now ahead by about a half a second. I believe there's a back marker in between them. Nope, the back marker is coming up high there. That is DeLong. Zeems and Jake Brooks fighting for a position here, trying to maneuver their way through the back markers. It looks like Brooks is getting a little held up there. Oh, he gets into the middle there, 3 wide. And he gets to the outside of the number 40 car. That is a beautiful move. I'm sure that Ken Zeems was not expecting that. Oh, and then he almost loses it, but he saves the car. Not really sure if they touched or not. Let's bring that back real quick. There's your move going 3 wide, going to the outside of the 40, and then into turn 1 and 2. It looks like he loses it. And there's no touch at all. He's doing it by himself, and Zeems is doing a great job making sure he doesn't run into him. That's good racing by both of them. Jake Brooks to catch it, and Zeems to make sure that he gives Brooks the room to catch it. Behind Zeems, it's still Mahoney and Brandon Hughes. They're fighting for 4th and 5th here. It's Samuel Fontaine a little bit further back. He's gotten ahead of Pete Pellini, and Michael Steffen still in 8th, trying to follow them. Trevor Edwards is in the lead by 1.8 seconds. That is quite a lead he's got built up there. But it looks like Jake Brooks is not just sitting by doing nothing. He is trying to catch up with the leader. He's walking away from Ken Zeems a little bit. There you have Ken, and it looks like we have a yellow flag. Let's go find out what is going on. It's the 21 of Kevin Davis that looks to be in trouble here. And he's actually getting a little bit of help there from the belief that was the 48 of Jacob Shockley. Not 100% sure. Let's go and bring that back for you. It's the 87 of Coy Hasselou. It looks like the 21 just kind of tries to keep it down where there is no room. And it looks like he gets everything back on the move again. And we currently see pretty much everybody coming into the pits. The leader all the way through to, well, let's pretty much say the first 13 cars. Everybody on the lead lap has come into the pits. The other guys will have to do so later. We are on lap 34, so we're getting close to the halfway point. And obviously, new tires is going to do them some good here. As said, they have 3 sets of tires at their disposal. And let's go see who comes out the quickest. It's a little bit obviously confusing with scrolling so much as we're not counting these laps, but it looks to me like Jake Brooks got out ahead of Trevor Edwards. That means he has had a terrific pit stop and probably only took 2 tires. Not sure, but we, from the looks of it, it kind of looks like that is the case, and he has passed Trevor Edwards that way. It looks like Curran Beckler is still out there. He did not take that pit stop. He pitted last on lap 14 after an incident, and he might be choosing to stay out there and you know, work track possession rather than new tires. Wouldn't surprise me a bit. What have you got to lose? That would mean that Curran Beckler is your new leader. Jake Brooks would be second, but he is ahead of Trevor Edwards, and that is a significant change, obviously, with a good pit stop from Brooks. Zeems is in 4th, Fontaine now in 5th. He came out ahead of Brandon Hughes, and so did Michael Steffen. Brandon Hughes came back out in 7th position. He is, however, still in front of Pete Pellini. And it looks like we're going to be lining them up. The lights on the pace car are out, and Curran Beckler is your new leader. Obviously, Curran is not on the freshest tires. It looks like Jake Brooks. Ooh, he's got a good jump on the field, though. Jake Brooks in 2nd position with Zeems and Edwards behind him. It looks like Zeems is coming to the outside of Edwards, picking up 3rd position. There you have him, the top 4 cars right there in your picture, with Fontaine in 5th. Jake Brooks chasing after the leader, Curran Beckler, and even though those tires are quite a bit older, Jake Brooks is having a little bit of trouble keeping up with him, and Trevor Edwards is giving Ken Zeems a run for his money once again, and it looks like Zeems can hold him off right now, but Trevor seems to be good on that high side there, and he just can't find the momentum to to pass. There we see Jake Brooks going for the lead on the inside of the 35. That must be the difference in tires already. Although the 35 comes off the turn on the high. Oh, there they touch. He saves it. That is beautiful. Oh, no, he doesn't. Somebody else has gone around. Somebody else. That's not Kern Beckler. Oh, it's actually Trevor Edwards that gets turned around by Beckler correcting. Let's go check and see that again. Oops. There you see the 35 correcting himself. He saves it, but he does touch Edwards in the process and turns Edwards around. And the rest of the guys are doing a great job staying away from them. And let's see if Trevor Edwards can recover here. It drops him back to 11th place currently at the tail end of the lead lap. Most likely he's going into the pits. He may have some damage. Let's see what happens here on pit road. It's not easy to tell what happens, but he's not taking tires. He does look like he may have taken a repair. It leaves Kern Beckler in the lead. I must say he did a pretty good job saving that car, and Edwards was just in the wrong place at the wrong time when he did so, but he did save it, and I will say everybody did a great job avoiding the mayhem. It looks like they're having a better job tonight. They're having a better go at it tonight on a half-mile track than they did previously. We've seen some incidents that were kind of the result of the pack being too tightly together. Not sure what's happening here. It might be that the 35 is being dropped to the tail end of the field by race control. We'll have to wait and see what transpires here. I do believe he's being brought to the back end, and that puts Jake Brooks in the lead. Yes, I do believe he's going to the back of the longest line. And he'll be in close proximity there of Trevor Edwards in the 32 car. He'll get behind him even. Unfortunate for both of them. Looked like just a regular racing incident to me, but those decisions are for race control, and I guess if you cause the yellow, they have every right to put you back there. It looks like we're getting ready to go. It brings Samuel Fontaine and Brandon Hughes on the second row there, with Michael Steffen and Pete Pellini on the third row. So they work their way up and they take advantage of what just happened. Jake Brooks has a good jump on the field. Ken Zeems in second position. Samuel Fontaine in third. Brandon Hughes in fourth. Pete Pellini in fifth. Michael Steffen in sixth. Mike Mahoney is hanging on to seventh there in that blue car. There you have him. And behind him, it's Sharkley and DeLong. Check on Jake here. He's still holding off the number 40, but it looks like Ken Zeems can hang with him pretty good. Samuel Fontaine in third, leaving a bit of a gap. Zeems is currently quicker than Brooks, but not by a whole lot. Looks like Ken Zeems has got something up his sleeve. He's not taking this without fighting back. Jake Brooks is going to be watching his mirrors quite a bit. And obviously they have spotters. They know what's going on around him. In third position, we have Sam Fontaine, and behind him it's Brandon Hughes and Pete Pellini in fifth. Let's go check on Ken Zeems. He's making life pretty hard here for Jake Brooks. Lap 43. Looks like he's already trying to come and take a look on the inside. Some of that is also just, a little bit of intimidation, making sure that the guy in front of you cannot always see you straight behind him in this mirror, making sure that he has to look for you. It's all part of the game. Jake Brooks doing a great job holding on to that lead. Here we're riding with Ken Zeems, the man in second position. Ooh, it looks like Jake is running a little wider. There we are in turn 3 and 4 with that curb on the inside. Ken Zeems hanging on here, waiting for his moment. Obviously, he's going to have to find... Oh, there you see a bit of a wiggle from Jake Brooks. And that means he has to lift a little bit. Let's bring that back from the outside. There you see it, a little bit of a wiggle from Brooks. Just a slight touch of the wall, and that's enough for Ken Zeems. That's all he needs to take the lead. That's how it works sometimes. You just wait and sit back and wait, keep putting pressure on the man in front of you, and wait for him to make a slight mistake, and that's all it takes. Samuel Fontaine hanging on to third position with Brandon Hughes behind him in fourth. Pete Pellini still in fifth. Michael Steffen in sixth. Mike Mahoney hanging on to seventh. Trevor Edwards has worked his way back up to the eighth position. Curran Backler not far behind in ninth. It's Sharkley and Kevin Davis behind them. And then Sean Langton in the 07 is in 12th position. And he's dealing with slower traffic. Ken Zeems still out in front. He's got about a half a second now on Jake Brooks. Jake is trying to recover from that little mistake. Can he close that gap? It looks like he's got a bit of a gap between him and the leader, and that's about the same gap he's got between him and Samuel Fontaine. Fontaine and Hughes still in the same order, close together with Pete Bellini right there with him, and then a little bit further back it is the 669 of Steffen with the 38 of Mahoney right behind him. There we have Fontaine. Ooh, it looks like the leaders are coming up on slower traffic here. That can always make a difference. It can help the guy that is in the chase. The leader is obviously the first one to encounter those back markers. They have to be warned by their spotter. They have to make way, and it's usually a little bit easier for the guys following, because then the back markers already know their place. They know the leaders are there. They will stay high. I will say they are doing an awesome job here tonight of making sure that the leaders' race is not interrupted. It does look like Fontaine is closing in on Brooks because of all the traffic. Look at that. Oh, it's traffic hour. It's rush hour on North Wilkesboro Speedway here. Fontaine definitely closing in on Brooks. There you have him, the red car, the 91. That's Samuel Fontaine, one of the favorites in the series, following Jake Brooks. Ooh, there it looks like one of the cars has spun around and gone into the pit lane. That is, oh, he's actually trying to go into the pit lane, but he spins it around trying to slow it down. Jake Brooks, he's still working his way around. Oh, no, he's not. He's closed in on Zeems a little bit. Passing that batch of traffic there has brought the top three closer together. Ken Zeems still leading, Jake Brooks in the second spot, and Fontaine in the third spot. And behind Fontaine, it's the black car with the green bars of Brandon Hughes, the number 111 car. And behind Hughes, it's Pete Pellini. And looking out the front of Fontaine's car, you see Jake Brooks right in front of you and Ken Zeems a little bit further ahead in the lead. And you can tell that Samuel is working that wheel pretty hard. He's doing a great job keeping up. There he is, the 91 car. Ooh, it looks like he slightly touched the wall there, and you can see that Hughes immediately closes in on him. And that was definitely in the advantage of Brandon Hughes. Caught right back up with Samuel, and now he's going to try to get underneath there. And Pete Pellini is not just sitting back idling there, he wants a piece of that as well. Samuel Fontaine has seen Hughes come right back up after that little mistake. Ooh, he runs a little wide there. Brandon Hughes comes to his inside. Can he pick up that fourth position, or that third position, I should say? Not quite yet. Fontaine doing a great job recovering. And Pellini is right there with him. And guess who's coming up behind Pellini? It is Trevor Edwards, the 32 car. He has passed Michael Steffen and Mike Mahoney. Kern Beckler is behind Mahoney in 9th, so his progress is going a little bit slower than Trevor's. Trevor Edwards trying to catch back up to those leaders. And there you see Pellini and Hughes now duking it out for the 4th position. Back markers playing a part of that. Trevor Edwards catching right up with these guys. There you see Edwards coming on the high side. And now he's going low underneath Pellini. There you have him. Can't quite get it done yet. Let's go check real quickly on Jake Brooks. He has closed in on Zeems by about 0.3 of a second. Not really within striking distance. Samuel Fontaine looks like he recovered himself from that earlier little mistake, and he's still solidly in 3rd, with Brandon Hughes in 4th, Pete Pellini in 5th, and Trevor Edwards clinging on to the back end of this group here. Worked his way from the back end of the field all the way back to the 6th position. There you see Pellini trying the outside. There's somebody smoking pretty heavily. That looks like, I believe that is, not sure. That looks like Richard Benedetto. Oh, we have a yellow flag. Let's go see what has happened. It's the 38 coming together with, not really sure. Let's bring that back for you. That looks like Michael Benedetto. No, it's the 35 of Kern Beckler. Kern Beckler touches his inside left rear wheel there. And it looks like Beckler is actually missing in action. That could be a connection issue. The 38, let's see. Where'd you go? Mike Mahoney went to the pits. I believe Mike Mahoney has left the race. We can't find him anymore. Yep, he's out. Shockley going into the pits. Richard Benedetto is in the pits currently. And look at the lap count here. We are going to be making a short dash for the cash here, with Ken Zeems in front of Jake Brooks, They'll all be bunched up together here side by side. And a good job tonight for Trevor Edwards, working his way back through the field from having to start on the longest line, or actually being spun around by Beckler. Beckler was the guy that was sent to the longest end of the longest line. But Trevor worked his way back up to be right there behind Pete Pellini in the 6th position. Fontaine in 3rd position there with Brandon Hughes alongside him. Then Pellini and Trevor Edwards on the 3rd row, and Michael Steffen hanging on there. He's been running a pretty solid race. Kind of quietly there in 7th position. He started in 8th and he's running 7th currently. Mahoney will get out of that list there on your left of your screen. He's out. Single file restart. We have 3 more laps to go. It's Ken Zeems in the front. Jake Brooks right behind him. Samuel Fontaine, Brandon Hughes. It looks like Trevor Edwards has already picked up the 5th position from Pellini on the restart. There you see Brandon Hughes going underneath Fontaine for 3rd position. Still side by side. And it looks like he picks up that 3rd spot with Fontaine running a little bit high. Now he's got Trevor Edwards on his inside as well. And it looks like they almost touched there. Ken Zeems still in front. Jake Brooks in 2nd. Samuel Fontaine trying to fight off Trevor Edwards for that 4th position. The white flag is out. And it is Ken Zeems picking up the win here in front of Jake Brooks. Brandon Hughes in 3rd. Samuel Fontaine hangs on to 4th position. Trevor Edwards in 5th. Pete Pellini in 6th. Michael Steffen is in 7th. Kevin Davis in 8th. Jacob Shockley in 9th. And Mike Mahoney hangs on to 10th position. There you have your race winner here, Ken Zeems. I'm sure he'll be burning some rubber. Nope, he decided not to. And there you have your results, folks. Let's go see if we can find some guys. And it looks like I cannot move anybody. Nope, I can't get to anybody. Hey, Jake, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
Hey, Mike. Or hey, Mark.
Hey, man, I can't seem to move anybody to my room, so that's why I'm jumping into yours.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was just about to come in there. We had to get Ken into the Discord so he could get the winner could get his interview.
okay, well, I'm going to start with you if you don't mind. Second position here for you. Looks like you're doing some good scoring for the championship. You were in second at the start of this race. I'm pretty sure you'll be in second after this race. With Kyle not being here, I'm sure you were hoping to score well. Um, tell us about your race, man. It looks like you had a good fight.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. Yeah, when I heard Kyle wasn't there or wasn't coming, I was definitely excited. Hopefully, I was thinking I was gonna be able to snag a win, but Ken drove one hell of a race and didn't make any mistakes, and I made the mistake. And once he got by me, he just never made another mistake. So he definitely deserved that one.
Yeah, it's basically the one that makes the least mistakes walks away with it, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And Kyle's already got he's already got the championship wrapped up. So no, I think he could probably miss the rest of the season and still win the championship.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why I was going to be. But I hope you. I think he still it still makes for good racing when he's there. So I hope he'll be there next time. But for you, it's still basically the fight for second place. You can wrap that up next week as well.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize that, but yeah, I'm definitely shooting for it. That'd be pretty cool.
Absolutely, man. All right. Anybody you want to thank or shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, always my guys, Kevin Davis, Ron Redmond, Hunter Ellis, uh, Corey Reese, and Peyton Talbot, and Adam O'Brien. They're all always racing with us, racing together, always challenging each other. So it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Jake.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Brandon, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, man, I can't move anybody in Discord, so I'm moving myself towards you guys. Congratulations on a third place position here. It looks like you snagged that away from Samuel there, right there at the end.
Right there at the very end, he's my teammate, so he was definitely hard to get by. We raced a lot together, and hats off to him for clean racing. We raced side by side for a little bit, trying to get by him, and finally was able to make it happen. So definitely a good battle.
Yeah, it looked like Samuel had a little bit of a wiggle earlier on, and maybe later on as well. Was that the reason you got by him? That he made a slight mistake, or what happened?
Yeah, it was just a slight mistake on his part, and that's kind of what I was waiting for. I saw him get into the wall a couple of times, and I was just hoping that I could get by him. And every other time that I tried, he just drove right around me. So just finally able to take advantage of it. He pushed a little high there in 3 and 4, and I was able to hold it on the bottom and just barely get by him. So made it stick.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, congratulations on a third position. Anybody you want to thank or shout out to tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my primary sponsor, Highway 50 Auto Sales, and then thanks to Moneymakers Motorsports, my race team that I run here with Samuel and some of the other guys. So that's what I mentioned. Sam was on my team. We battle a lot together, so I felt really comfortable running side by side with him. Knew it would be a good race and a good clean race. So I appreciate the show and thanks for the broadcast.
No problem, man. I love doing it. All right. Thanks very much, Brandon. I see Ken has joined us in this room here as well. Ken, sorry, I was trying to look for people and I can't move anybody around, so that's why I'm moving myself. Ken, you may correct me if I'm wrong. Is this your first time in this Thursday night series?
Yeah, it is. Actually, I was supposed to be in another league race tonight, and they canceled, and I saw this one, so I hopped in.
And not without good fortune here, man. You fought for that lead hard all race long. You made it work at the final restart. Obviously, 2 laps to the finish after that restart, a short dash for the cash is probably more a matter of making no mistakes than anything else, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't want to see that. I had a decent lead there with 4 to go, and then the caution came out. But I held on, and it's first time racing with these guys. I just want to thank them. It was good, clean racing, a lot of fun out there.
Absolutely, and it does help a little bit that North Wilkesboro is a fairly wide track. We had relatively very few yellows for the series, what we normally have, but it looked like you were on the ball there all the time, pretty much. And at first, I believe it was Trevor Edwards giving you a hard time, and then after that, it was Jake, and you came out on top, man.
Yeah, it was definitely good racing with those guys. Like I said, it was nice and clean, and Jake, he just got a little loose there, and that's how I got past him. And I just held on to him. Car was hooked up good. It was good track conditions, a lot of grip. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember that situation where Jake got loose, and it looked like you actually went a little bit lower to avoid you guys touching. I mean, that was a good save from him, but also good work from you to give him the room to be able to save that car. So hats off to you, man. That was a good move.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. It's just, I figured I'd give him the room. It's better than wrecking us.
Well, absolutely. That's not going to help you either.
No. But,
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Ken. I hope we get to see you some more on these Thursday nights with this league. Congratulations once again. Anybody you want to say love you or shout out to?
Yeah. Actually, I want to thank my sponsors, Apcar Esports and Maconi Setup Shop, and yeah, I mean it was a lot of fun. So I'll have to run some more with these guys.
Oh, we'll look forward to it, Ken.
Hey, thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
All right, folks, there you have him. That was the top 3 drivers we talked to. Not in the correct order, but hey, it doesn't matter. We had to shuffle around a little bit to get to them. But Ken Zeems takes away a win here on his first outing in the Short Track Super League on the modifieds. Come and check us out in a few minutes. We're going to be going to the trucks, and they will be racing at Lucas Speedway in Indiana. And we hope to have a good race there as well. That will not be their penultimate race. They have 2 more races after that tonight. But the fight for the championship there is also still wide open, I believe. So come and check us out here in about, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes. We'll be going live there at the trucks at Lucas Motor Speedway. This is Short Shift Broadcasting. My name is Mark. Hope you enjoyed the modifieds here tonight, and hope to see you on the other side with the trucks, and if not there, maybe next week with the modifieds.